validated that everything's working, and it's working. So if you're seeing this, if you're watching this live coding session, um, this is, I think, the fifth part of the live coding sessions where I'm working on a blog for one of my services that it's agentstower.com. It's an AI agents observability package and platform for your AI APIs. And I'm showing you how to make how to work with Cursor specifically, and using a PHP framework called Laravel. It's a framework that I use, and I'm showing you like everything that I'm going through, what I'm thinking. It's not something that is already predefined how it's going to come out, how it's going to, what's the final version of this. To be honest, I'm just working on this as I go in these sessions, and I do it like this because I want you to see how to work with AI coding tools. For example, Cursor, it's the one that I use, and I'm going to open it. So to open it while I'm just giving the intro. And what else? What else? It's okay. So just a moment. Okay. I'm just doing some housekeeping. Okay. And okay. So yes, this is the project that I'm working on. It's the project that I have been showing to, if you have been following the this series. So it's basically um it's basically a platform. Oh, okay. So I close the server, just going to run it again, and now it should load. So it's basically this is the platform agentstower.com. Right now I'm in localhost, and in here you can see like the different blogs in the in the blog that I have been working on. You can open them, but the interesting thing, I mean, this is just fake. How do you say fake? So let's see what's going on in here. It looks like there's an issue with the blocks that are being loaded. So yes, there's an issue here. We are going to need to work on this. I think that I know what's going on in here, and we're going to see it. As you can see, we have several bugs. I just want to show you everything that I'm looking at and that I'm working on. And the interesting thing in here is, if you go to the admin dashboard, we can see the articles, we can see the users. This is just for authorized users to be able to access this section of the platform. And if you go to articles, you can edit any of these articles. What I want to work on this, and to be honest, I don't know how it's going to be made. I'm going to work on the solution, the possible paths during this session. That is what I want to work right now. I want to be able to visualize this article, maybe in this same page, maybe in a pop-up, maybe in another page. Let's work on this. Okay, so right now this is the article body. This is what it's going to be showing when you go to the blog, and this is the HTML. And I want to be able to preview this HTML before publishing. So that's what we're going to be working on. And well, let's get started. So if I go to Cursor, this is Cursor, and these are all of the files. So the first thing is so right now I have the view for the admin dashboard. We have the edit elements and we have the index. So we are going to be working basically in the edit elements. So if you press Ctrl P, it's going to open you this option where you can search um, by name of the file. So we are going to be working on edit elements, and basically we also need the admin controller. I think this one's not going to be required right now. So where we edit an article, it's on this function. So it's get edit article, and we are showing, using this information, we are showing it in here. So if you want to see how does this work, I have other sessions, you can see them. I show everything there. So let's start. If I go in here, well, we were having an issue when you were seeing the blocks, and you only see 2 blocks in here. If I open it, I can see the block, but if I click on any one of these ones, it's giving me a 404 error, not found. So the issue here, I think, is that it's giving me dash articles that are not published. So that's a bug. And just to be sure, if I go to the database, and here, and we use the database for this project. So what I'm going to see the articles table. So it's describe articles. Okay, so let's select ID is published, and let's do the slug. Okay, from articles. Okay, so as you can see, we only have 2 articles that are published, are the ones that have a 1, and the other ones are not published. So, but what's happening in here is that it's showing me the articles in here, even though they are not published. So let's work on this. This is a bug, and we need to fix it. So this is showing where it says newest articles. So you can basically copy this, go in here, and just search for it. So this is where it's getting these newest articles. So in here, I just need to get this variable. When it's getting this variable, I copy it. So we select all of this, right click, copy. This is a way to search for it. To be honest, this is going to be in the admin controller if we just search for it in here. So why it's not shown? So it's, oh, sorry, not in the admin controller. This is in the article controller. So this is the article controller. And as you can see, we have the variable in here, other articles. It was also in here. So I go to other articles, and we're in the same place. So in here, I need to add how do you say it? Conditional, where it says that it is published true. Only articles that are true can be shown there. So I'm just going to save this. If I go in here and I reload this, it's not going to show me those articles. It's just going to show me the the articles that are published. So we already solved that issue. So now let's go to what I really want to look at right now. I want to be able to preview this in the front end. So I don't have any idea on where to start with to do this. So what I'm going to do, we're going to start as researching, and the way that I'm doing this right now, it's with the AI. So we're going to work on that. I'm just going to save this to commit it to my Git version control, and it's going to be called only published articles are shown. So we just commit this, and save the changes. Okay, so admin controller, edit elements, and show. So let's open that chat with Control Shift P. Sorry, yes, it should be Control Shift P. Why it's not opening? Alt Shift P. So why is it not opening it? I think something changing here. So okay, so let's go to view. If that's not working, you should be able to see it in the Control Alt P. So it's in there. So Control Alt B. Okay, so it's opening like this. Maybe something changed in the latest version of Cursor. I really don't know, but that's how it's working. So let's ask this. Let's ask. I want to. It can be preview, or it can also be parse HTML using JavaScript. In a text area. So this is a text area in a form. Maybe there's something that we can work on with this. So it's telling me that it's going to help me add JavaScript functionality to parse HTML content in a text area. I'll modify the existing. Okay. Okay. So it's telling me that I'm using Vue. Yes, this is supposedly using Vue. Let's see if that's the only way to do it. Okay, so it's going to try to modify this this file, edit elements file. I don't know if that's how I want to do it right now, but let's see what does it come up with, and then we're going to modify it to our needs. So let's see what's doing. It made two big changes. One to the text area field, which with these changes, and then it's adding a script in the bottom page. So let's see. I have added HTML parsing functionality to your text area component. Here's what I have done. So it's telling me exactly what it did, and I like to do this to read this, because in this way, I'm also learning new ways or different ways or new things to work, new things for my job, for what I do, that it's developed. So I like to read it. I just don't leave it to the AI, because one, maybe it's doing something that doesn't make sense. Two, maybe it's doing something that it's going to have an issue with other elements in the website, in the web page in general. And I want to know if there's like a better way to do it. So that's why I like to read everything that it's doing. So it says modify the text area layout to include a side-by-side preview area on medium screens and up. Okay, that's not really how I want it, but let's continue. Added a preview div that will show the parsed HTML in real time. That looks good. And added JavaScript that finds all text area in the form. That's not really what I want to, so we're going to work on that. And creates a preview area for each text area, parses and displays HTML in real time. Okay, so let's accept the changes. And I'm going to look. You can see in here that they are in blue, these lines. So these ones were the lines that changed, and these ones are green because these lines were added. So if I don't like anything that it made, I'm going to go back to these lines specifically to work on them. Okay, so if I go to this is previewing. So I like it. I mean, it's the first version. It's working. So maybe it's okay. So I'm going to go to another articles, and if I edit this, it looks the same. So maybe one of the older ones. It looks like all of the articles look the same. Just a moment. So this one has more information. As you can see, it has all of this. So now, for example, maybe I can change this, the style with inline CSS. So for example, if I write style color red, let's see if it changes. No, sorry. I cannot. That doesn't make any sense. It's going to go to where is this? I want to modify this. So where is this? So it's in here. So maybe if I add it in here, let's see. So as you can see, I really like this. It's in real time. It's detecting the changes, and I like it. So how can we work on this to be so that it's better for what I want to do? Because yes, in this place we are working with HTML inside this text area, but to be honest, not all text areas, not in the in a form, in this article, in this web page, are going to be HTML forms. Like they can have other types of information, like for example, the bio of some users. It can have a description. It can has a summary, a transcription. So the JavaScript that the AI agent that Cursor made, yes, it's working, but it's not working exactly as I needed, because I just needed for the the text areas that need HTML parsing. So let's start modifying it and adapting it to our use case. So for example, what I could do, it's have one section of the article with the form, and the other section be the preview. So I can divide this in two, and one is going to be for the form and one is going to be for the preview, but I'm just going to have the preview for the article body text area. So let's start working on that. The other thing is that we can close this and to have more space, right? But as you can see, there are some issues in here, so we could also work on that. So let's start first by dividing this in two to be able to have this preview in a better way. So okay, so I just want to see how is this parsing. So it's text areas for each. So this is where it's looping through all the text areas, and it's adding this it's running this method, this function, to create the preview element. So it's using a DOM parser, and it's parsing from this string, the HTML that is being sent in here, with everything that is inside the text area, and we are previewing it in text HTML. So it's going to sanitize it to avoid any issues. Update the preview. Okay, so it's going to preview, yes, to apply the changes to the preview, and preview element class list. Okay, remove, add, and if there's an error, it's going to show me something. Okay, so let's start working with this. I'm going to separate this script from the HTML, from the PHP file, because I want to have it in another maybe in another JavaScript script file, to be able to use it on different places, okay, with just one article. But we're going to do that in a moment. Okay, so first let's divide this into the preview, the form section, and the preview section. So if I go to this is edit elements. Okay, So how can we work on this? Now, I'm thinking about this because edit elements, it's a view that is used on different by different types of elements. So for example, I'm using this same file for editing articles, but also to edit, for example, users or other elements in the future. For example, I don't know, lessons, courses, um, what else? Pages. So I'm using the same um, template, but we don't need this functionality for all of them. So that's why I need to find a way to make it to divide it into dynamically. So how, I mean, it's, you can do it in here. For example, if I add something um, like a variable, for example, it can be it can be HTML preview, something like this, but not false, to be true, and the other ones could be false. So if I add this in here, so it can be added action root. So in here, HTML preview, and I'm going to save this. So now in here, I'm going to use this HTML preview. Yeah, so we're going to modify this. Let's see if I can modify everything with JavaScript. That could be a way to do it. So let's see. Okay, if HTML preview. So I can copy this. And this is the error handler for the form. So what can I do here? So for example, this is flex. So okay. So let's start with so it's, as you can see, it's flex column. So I'm going to add this. I'm going to contain all of the content inside a div. So I'm going to call this not like this. It's going to be flex, the same as flex column. So it's going to have the same, but I'm going to change this one, and this is going to be flex row like this. Okay. So now if I go to this is flex row. So, and this is like this, and I can close this one like this. So okay, it's closing it. So now I can add in here something like this. If HTML preview, that's correct. I'm going to add another container inside this main container. So if I go to so if I go, it's going to add this. Okay, so This is HTML preview. Let's see. Okay, so this is not working. Okay, let's see. So now if I go in here, okay, so we have HTML preview in here. As you can see, it doesn't have the half of the page, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so we can have it in the half of the page, or we can also add it as a model in the website. I want to have it as half of the page because I want to be able to see the changes as I made them. So if I added it with a model, yes, I'm going to see all of the page with more space, but I'm not going to be able to see it while I'm making the changes. So that's why we are going to go with this option to have it in half of the page. So okay, so maybe if I add something like w1/2, something like this. Let's see. Okay, so it's yes. So I could make something in here like shrink 0. So now it should maintain the base. So now it's maintaining this space completely, even though it doesn't have everything. Okay, so now what may, okay, so this is adding it in here. I don't want to add it in here, I want to add it in here. Okay, so I'm going to see, as you can see, this is the lines that I told you that are the blue ones. So this one, how is it changing this? So what is this looking for? Okay, so it's looking for all the text area, and it's adding this. So now let's do something different. Let me see what were the changes in here. So let me just add it in here. So okay, so it added this div, and what else? Text area, name, ID, placeholder, class. Okay, is that rows? So it didn't add anything in this row. Just moved it a little bit to the right. So we just added things. Okay, so we're going to work on this. So let's see. I'm going to revert these changes. So the changes were basically this was added, and this was also added. So if I save this, maybe this should work in here. Okay, so but I don't want this to shrink, so maybe use, I don't know if this one's going to work in here. Yeah, I didn't make anything. So I'm going to, maybe I can use something like basis and shrink 0. Okay, so it's now working. But what happens if I don't have admin HTML preview? This is false. So if this is false, maybe, okay, yes, it's leaving the half. So I don't want that. So we need to work on that as well. I'm going to do that in a moment. So we have the HTML preview, and so this is doing. How can we do this? We can do it as dynamically as we want. Like, for example, if we have one text area to just show one preview option, one preview area. If we have two, well, to be dynamically generated, that it shows the two previews, and like that, right? Like um, if we have three, three, four, four, but in a dynamic way, like not manually. We could do that, or we could just add some like lock, so just being able to have one of these preview variables. So the easiest way is to just have one, because we can just suppose that everyone's going to follow like these restrictions. But we could try to make it like every to be completely dynamic. So let's first do it with one, and then we're going to be to see if we can add more dynamism. So let's work on this. So we have this ID HTML preview, and we are going to add an ID to tell it that this is the text area that we want to use as HTML preview. So ID body. So we're going to call this I can add something in here, for example. That could be the way to do it. We could add a class, or we could add this body. So let's see. So if I go to text area, I have in here ID. So this is the one, ID. Okay, name ID. Okay. So I could add in here. How could we do it? Like, what's the best way to do it? We can add in here something like I could say that, for example, if this HTML preview it's equal to true, to search for the text area that has the ID body. This will be the way to do it with what we already have, without adding anything extra. So let's try it like this, and then let's see if we can improve this. So for example, in here we could do something with us like this. So strict. So if HTML preview, we're going to run this JavaScript script, and so this is and if yes, and if, and then so if HTML preview, so we're going to select so get the form element. No, not the form element, sorry. The body, the HTML body, the body text area. Like this. So we're going to look for body query. So I can just look for get element by ID and use body. Okay, we should only have these ones, once. So if I go to get the preview element, this is going to be the preview element. So I'm not going to add any class right now. So it's HTML preview. Get the preview element. Okay. Okay. So, and we are going to add these. Okay. So we need to text area 18. Okay. So I'm going to add this listener to listen to changes. Okay. So add input event listener. So body text area. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to comment this out just to make sure that it's not doing anything. And let's see if we can add this. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Okay, so now we are previewing the HTML. So what I'm going to do, so look how we have in here a background color, but this background color is not necessarily because of the HTML in here. So okay, so we're going to add a white background color just to be just to reset the color, and if there's an HTML background color in here, it's going to add. So let's first see if this is updating. So for example, if I change this in here, so for example, if I add something like style color red, something like this, it's modifying it. Okay, so let's for example, if I do blue in here, it's changing. Okay, so let's see if okay, so I want to have this at the top because it's a function that we're going to use later on. So I want to have it in here. And I'm going to add the background color. So this is going to be in here. So let's see. So I don't want to have, well, yes, we can have. So I don't want a background gray. I want a background white, a white background. Okay, so I have the white background, and it doesn't have, okay, so yes, it does have padding. So I'm going to remove the padding because I want it to, well, no, we can add it. It's just to be okay. So for example, if I delete this, the title, where's the head? Where's the head? Where is that? Okay, so here's the head posing, and this, and like this. So everything looks okay. So if I save this, okay, so okay, it's working. So now, this is how it's going to look. So we could add, for example, something like it's loading. So for example, I could add something like, and so we can have a name. So if I add this, so As you can see, when I reload this, look, see how it's going to appear something like this. You see? Did you see that? This. So I want to add a loading icon in here. Okay. So I want to just I want to put this in the center. So I can just use the center. It's not the best way to do it. So as you can see in here, it's in the center. So now, so this could be, for example, this could be another div, and this could be like this, and we can have it like flex go, justify center, item center, and this. Okay, so it's not in the center. So for example, if I go in here, so this should be in the center, so I can use, for example, in here something like h full like this. So now if I say this, it's in the center. Did you saw that? It's in the center, right? So now in here I could add a loading GIF. So for example, I could set something like change this line to be a loading, maybe GIF or SVG. Let's see what does it do. Okay, so it's going to add it. So I didn't add it, I can copy it and I can paste it here. Let's see. If I save this, and so as you can see, it's previewing. So now if I refresh, it's going to change everything. Okay. So I'm just going to delete this, and we're just going to leave the loading spinner. Okay. And it looks good. I like it. So we could do this like a little bit bigger. So for example, this could be 300. So it's bigger. And okay, so what else? What else can we add in here? So for example, if I add in here a color to the body, so something like style, background color, it's to red, so it's not changing this. So why it's not changing it? Let's see. If I copy this and paste it, for example, here. Okay, so it's added in here. So for example, why is it not adding it? If I do like this, so maybe if I change this to a div like this, it's doing. So yes, you can just have it like this. And for example, if I save this, maybe in here we could have a button to go to the article. So I'm going to add it. Yes, I could add it like a new button. So for example, If I go to blogging here, I think it's this one or this one. So obvious. So it's this one. No, it's not this one. So the thing is that this article is not published. I can save it, and it's going to appear in here. I think it's this one. So you can see how it has this background color that we added. Okay. So, but I want to have a button here to go and be able to see it. So let's go. For the moment, I like this. I'm going to save this to to save the changes that we have made. So let's go. I want to delete this. And I don't know why is this. Oh, okay, so it's removing error styling. Okay, I'm going to leave it. Like this. And so yes. So now I can save the changes and added that preview, the HTML preview window. Okay. Okay. So now let's add a button here to be able to see the article. So we can do this in the admin controller, and I could add something like this is not going to be in here in the fields, because the fields only show for the form, and I want this to show in the button. So let's see, and for each. Okay, so yeah, I think we can make it work. So for example, if I added it in here, something like case, something like button, and let's see where is it added. I'm going to delete this background color because it's making me I don't know, it's making me focus on that, on the color, instead of what I'm working on. So we're going to add a button in here. So let's see. Okay, so let's see. This is not how it's going to be, but let's start by something. So okay, so we have the preview in here. So this is going to be button. So this is going to see go to article, and on click. We're going to work on that in a moment. So let's see if I can make it. So this is save. Oh, okay, so I know what's going on in here. This is flex column. So how can I work on this? The issue is that each one of these elements of the sibling, of the childs of this form, is going to go to like in a column, like one element per, like in a column, like one over the other one. So if I add a button in here, it's adding the button over my save button. I wanted to be like next to it, not in here, but maybe it requires a lot of changes. So maybe I can do it. For example, if I change this form to be instead of being column, flex column, I can do flex row, but now it's not going to show like really good in here. As you can see, it looks like a mess. So what I can do, it's I can add each one of these divs to be of full width. So for example, if I do w full like this, like this, like this, like this, w full, and this one I don't do it like that. Okay, so I need to add in here flex row and flex wrap like this. So I save this. So now we have it in the same way, but you can see the buttons are in the same line. So what I can do to not make it like this, I can do something like so I can add it in here, but I would prefer to do it. Okay, so this is self, and this should be doing it. Why it's not doing it? Let's see. So this should be doing it, but it's not. Okay, so I think I know. So maybe so it's not self and maybe I could add something like I can do it in here. For example, to do something like justify. I think it's end. Let's see. Okay, so yes, justify an end. It's making everything go to the right. That's the end in this example, but it doesn't show for the form because they have the full width, so it's irrelevant. But it is relevant to the buttons. So if I add something like so I could do something else in here. For example, I don't want it to be in here like one next next to the other, like touching each other. So if I can modify these buttons. So for example, do something like margin right 4, and we have a right margin. I'm not fully sure if that's how I want to do it. We can also have in here something like a gap x2. So if I save this, I should have in here some gap. I like this option better. And then I can have something like something like class, like something like this, and make it like button, but not a button primary. I want to have it like a button outline, and in here add something like so I could add some classes in here. So if So if it's set, um, what's the name of this? It's field class. Let's see. As you can see, it's allowing me to add a class with this, but I don't want button primary in here. Well, yes, maybe button here. Yes, W fit self and maybe not. So we need self n, and we don't need it in here. So, but we can do something like, for example, let's open apps.css and do something like button muted. We can do something like button muted. Let's see if this is something good. Okay, I like it better. Maybe I could add something like text small. I don't know if that's going to have an impact in here. It doesn't look like it's having an impact. Maybe I could use something like button small. Let's see if that does have an impact. Let's reload this. And it looks like a little bit smaller, at least the text. So I like it. So in here, we could add a go to article that's going to send me to the article. Right now, this button is not doing anything. So we need to add an action. So the action could be exactly this, the href attribute. So okay, so I'm seeing an issue in here. So I have a button, yes, and the button by itself, it's not an anchor, it's not a link. So I need to work on that. So is this an anchor element? It's going to be a button element. I think this is going to be an anchor, like a link. So I could change this to be, instead of button, to be link. And in here, I could change this to link. So this is with a class with a button class. So for example, in here, I reload this. It's giving me an error. Okay, so it's giving me an error. Article.show, it's not defined. So if I go to web roots, so the name of those roots, it's blog. So it's blog.show. So if I reload this, let's see. Okay. So now if I click in here, it's sending me to the article. I like it. But as you can see, it's not centered. So I want to work on this. So it's going to be edit elements. Where's the link? Okay, so here's the link. So I think I can do it something like flex. I'm not sure. Flex column, and I want to use something like items center, justify center. So let's see. So yes, it's now centered. So if I just click on it, it's going to redirect, like change the site. I don't want that, because if there's any change, I don't want to. I don't want the user to. I don't want the user to lose the changes. So I'm going to add it to open this link in a new tab. So how do we do that? So we just add in here. So it's going to be in here, something like target, not something like exactly target blank. So if I just make a click, it's redirecting to a new tab. Okay. So we have it in here. Just let me look on my notes on what I have planned for today. So okay. So now this is working. I mean, this is how I wanted it to look. The only thing is, let's see if this works for a user. So for example, if a user doesn't have HTML, it could have, but it's not going to, in this case, doesn't have. So let's see how does the edit user work. So if I go to users, as you can see, the users doesn't have an edit button. So first let's add that. And in here, I also want to do something else. For example, if I go to dashboard, this is using gap of 2. Oh, okay. So this gap 2 is relevant, and because it only has one element. So if I go in here, I want to remove that in here as well. So I want to remove this gap. So let's have it like this. Okay, so let's do that. Added anchor form element neat, and now I want to add a space. I want to remove this space. So if I go to this is the view. So if we go to resources views admin, and this is the view, file view.play.php. In here I'm going to delete this. Okay. So we deleted that gap. I want them to be closer because they are from the same element. Okay. So now if I go to, if I click here edit, I should be able to edit the HTML with what we already work. But if I go to users, I cannot edit the users. So let's add this. So we need an edit route for the users. So if I go to admin controller, we have the get users function, but we don't have the get edit users. Okay, so so I want to go to get edit user. Okay, so edit user. This is not going to have HTML preview. And so now if I go in here and I reload this, I still don't have this. So now if I go to view, this needs an edit route. Okay, so I need to add the edit route to the dashboard index. So sorry, for the get users. So this is going to be the edit route, admin users edit. Okay, so now if I reload this, it should add these buttons, but it's going to give me an error because that page doesn't exist. So now I need to create that that root in here, that it's going to be for only admin users with the admin role. So edit users. Okay. So now if I reload this and I go in here, I should have a page. I have another error, but that's okay. We need to work on this error now. So it's telling me that it doesn't have an HTML preview. So I don't want to need to have to add that variable in each edit view that I create. I just want to, if it has it, add it. If it doesn't have it, like don't give me an error. So I'm going to make a change in the edit elements, and instead of using if, I'm going to use isSet. So isSet, it's going to look for the variable. If it doesn't have it, it's not going to give me an error. So let me reload this. Okay, so it's using now the if in the script. So now it shouldn't give me an error. Okay, so it doesn't have an error. And now we need to create the edit user page. So if I go to edit user, what are the fields inside a user? So if we go to describe users, we have the ID, the name, the email, password, and the remember token. So basically we can only change the name and the email. So if I go to the admin controller, these are the fields. So let's work this. So where are the fields? Okay. So we have the input text name. Okay. Require true value. Use. So this is the user, but not the username. This is the user Apple name. This is just name. This is name. Input email. Okay. So if I reload this, okay, so I have an error. So get edit user ID, edit to. So why am I not getting the user? Okay. So I'm not getting the user. I need to find the user. And in here I'm using find user ID because the user ID, it's actually an ID. It's the ID of that row in the table. So, but the problem is, well, not the problem, but for example, if we had another identifier, for example, a lookup key, for example, I don't know, a 6 characters string, we couldn't use find. We need to use the method where, and it's going to be something like this. Instead of ID, it's going to be something like user lookup key or something like that, and it's going to be different. But since we're using the ID, I can use that directly using find, and it's really direct. So now if I reload this, I shouldn't have that error, maybe another one. So I don't have a placeholder. Okay, for the input okay, so I'm going to add it in here, placeholder like this, and placeholder like this. So now if I reload, we should have another. So now, look how I have the name of the author, of this user, and then in their email. And now if I go to another user, for example, the 3, so if I just change this to user, change this to user, and I save. It's giving me an error because I don't have the root to save that user. So if I go to web roots, I do have it in here, but I don't have that method in here. So we're going to use public function post edit user. This one was get edit user, get to get the form to edit it, and post is to apply the changes. So we can we need to create this request. So we can do that in here. I'm going to open another terminal. So if I go to this is Agents Tower, and if I open okay, so if I run PHP artisan and I search for a request to make a request, I just need to write make request, and this is to validate it like in the same place of the as all the users request modifications, for example, to create a user or to modify a user. Because if not, I will need to create a validation for when you create the user, a validation for when you edit the user. And I don't want to do that too much because it's going to get, it's not going to be synchronized, or at least it's going to be more work to have it synchronized. So let's do it just one time. So the name is going to be modify user request. If I go to the requests in here, you're going to see that I only have one modify article request. Well, not one, I have other ones, but I don't have this one, modify user request. So let's run PHP artisan make request, and it's going to ask me the name. So it's going to be called modify user request. Okay, so if I go to here and change this to true, and I'm going to require the name and the email. So I'm saving this. I'm saving this. I think I don't know if I need to add it in here. So yes, I need to add it in here. Now if I go to file, it's validating, and this should work. So now, if I try to edit a user, for example, reloading this, the user was updated successfully. So now, if I modify this to use, I don't know, another user, I'm going to call this another user. So I save it, and if I reload this, it's changed. So now, if I go to users, I have another user in here, and I can edit. Okay. So I just want to do something because this is the test user and this is the for. I think if I'm getting the users, I want to get the users by descending all of it. So I think if I, well, it's because all the users were created in the same, because they were seeded to the database. All the users have the same date that they were created, like to the millisecond. So if we can verify this, and I can change it. For example, if I go to select ID, email, created at from users, and as you can see, it has everything the same. So, but I can modify, for example, the created at. So I can use update users set where ID equals 4. So I'm going to set created at equals just to the same this one, but 1 second, like 1 additional second. So I just copy it and I paste it, and I'm just going to add as plus 7. So now if we look at this one's the higher one. So now if I reload this, I should get the test user at the top. Okay. So now if I go to dashboard, the test user it's also in the top. Okay? It's the first one that is shown because I want to show the latest users that were created in my platform. Now, what else? Okay, so I did all of this just to show you that we are having in here 50% page, just because sometimes we are going to need to have 50% to have an HTML preview. I don't want that. I don't want that to have this restriction when I don't need that restriction in here. So let's work on this. So how can we do it? First, let's save all of these, and it's going to be get edit users and post edit users. So I need to save this, and let's work on this. So this is done in the view, in the edit element. So here, as you can see, I'm using isset HTML preview. Yes. So in here I have these. These are the classes, the CSS classes. In this case, are tailwind, that it's limiting the size that this container can go to. So so I need to work on this. Okay. So how can we do it? I mean, I can add another is set. That's pretty easy. So maybe it's going to be the best way to do it. Can I do it without that? Because I'm going to need it like so. What happens if I delete this? So let's save this and let's go in here. Yeah, it's not working. So this is now. So I could add it just like shrink and grow 0, something like this, and then I can have bases in here. Maybe. Let's see. Okay, so now this is working. I'm going to have a more complete article. It's this one. Okay. So if I have it in here, this is basis. So what happens if I do this? Okay, so this is going to. Okay, so why is this not expanding? So maybe I can have, let's see. So now I do have it in here. Okay, yeah, so this is working. So why is this working? Because W full, it's getting the full available space, but in here, since the available space, so I now have a space occupied by this, so the available space is less than what was before, so it's just taking that space. So I like this option better because I don't have to add additional is sets or additional conditionals. So I like this option better, and I'm going to save it. So just taking up just W full when no HTML preview field. Okay, so it's going to be save. And the other thing that I want to do is that I don't like to have this in the same view laid file as the PHP. So I can add this as another script. And let's see if this works as I'm expecting it to. So for example, if I can go to public, and I can create in here a new folder. It's going to be JavaScript. To be honest, I can have in here a CSS folder and also an images folder. Okay, I already have that one and this, but I'm going to have a JavaScript folder. So I'm going to create in here a new file that's going to be called HTML preview.js. And in here, I'm going to copy this like this. I'm going to remove this. I don't need it in here. And this doesn't have any sense in here, so I'm just going to delete it, like cut it, and then I'm going to paste it again in here. So like this. So if HTML preview it's defined, I'm going to add a script. Okay, I can have it like this with two isSet and isSet, or I can also have it in here. That's another way to do it. Maybe it's not the purest way to do it, but to be honest, it doesn't matter. So in here I could add something like, for example, defer or a sync. But since I want to be able to preview the articles, I just wanted to load it as soon as it can. So in that case, I'm going to leave it like that just to see if there's an issue. And I don't know if this is going to give me an error. Let's try it. Okay, so it's working. And I'm using the so I'm just looking for that script, and so why is it not showing it in here? So it's script, it's in HTML preview. Okay, so in here, so where is it? HTML preview. So it should show. Well, it's not showing. It should be showing in here. Let's see. Okay, so it's in here. HTML preview.js. Okay. Maybe it's not showing because it's rendering it with height, but it should show when we move this to the front end, to the production. Okay, so for example, if I add in here like a change, for example, let's add this style. So if I do background color red, it's still working. Good. So and if I save these changes and I reload this, it's going to still have the changes that I made. Okay. So if I save this, it's saving it. Okay. What else? What else can we do? And if I go to the users, this is still working. Okay, got it. So now, okay, so this is when we edit an article, but also I want to do this when I create an article. I want to be able to preview it. So, um, and the other thing that I'm looking at that I just realized is that if I go to articles and I click here, I don't know, this one, edit, this is not showing the title at the beginning because the title is not in this text area. It's this. So it's not showing it here. But if I go to article, I'm going to have the title at the top. So I could add this to my HTML preview. And maybe I should add it. Let me think about it. But first, I want to go to articles. And if I create a new article, I also want to be able to preview it. So if I go in here to, I'm going to commit these changes. So it's going to be moved script HTML preview script to its own file. Commit. Okay. So now if I go to admin controller and I go to get edit article, I need to look for get create article, and I'm going to add in here the HTML preview true. So now if I reload this, I should have the preview. Okay, so I'm not having it. Article. So what's the issue with here? Let's see if there's an error. Console. Okay. So I don't have any error. So what's going on? Okay, so I think so. Yes, the issue is in here. I'm not sending the variable. So if I preview this, okay. So okay, yes. Since I'm using view, I'm getting this error, and that is why I don't have this. That's why I cannot see the HTML preview script in here in the HTML, because it's removing it. It's view, it's removing it from the HTML. So what I can do, so for example, if I go to console, I'm going to have this error. If I go to articles, edit article, and I reload this, I'm also getting this error. Okay, so there's a way to work on this. For example, if I go to here and I say that this is going to be pushed to scripts, that should make it, that is making it work. As you can see, I don't have that error anymore. But now if I go to here, you can see that the script, it's after all of the other scripts. And why is that? It's pretty interesting, but it's because in the admin layout, if I open the admin layout, in here I have a stack of scripts that if I use push, it's sending the code inside that push to this section of stash. So to stack, sorry. So that's why it's adding it at the end. Okay. So now I don't have the error, so this is working. So now if I create an article. So that's why I had this, because I created this article, this blog article using AI agents for YouTube. It's another service that we are working on, and it's basically you add a YouTube URL and you select different options, and it's going to create you a personalized SEO blog, sorry, article for your blog. So I can copy this, and now I'm going to paste it in here. So the thing is that this is not in HTML, and it's because I made some changes. For example, but I can add in here like something like H1 or something like H3 or H4, and then this is going to be H4 closing. So this is going to be H5, and this is going to be close H5. And I mean, I can add this to all of the. So I can add it here. I can add it in here. I can add it in here. To be honest, this should be already in here, but I'm just doing it because we are actively working on that. So it's why. So it's why it's giving me this. So in here I should add an image, but I'm not going to do that right now. So it's longer than what I was expecting. Like, this is really long. I'm just going to leave it like this, and you already see that it worked. But so now I'm going to select an author. I'm going to publish this, and it's the article name. Its title is going to be using Cursor to create. And this is an article. Sorry, this is a video that I made. So I'm making an article from my own video using Cursor to create beautiful websites, something like this. So now if I save this and I go to all of my articles in blog, you can see that it was added. I mean, it still needs work on it, but this actually takes us to the next thing that I want to do right now. That is how to add thumbnails to each one of the articles. So if I go to this, let's see. So HTML preview. Okay. So pushing HTML. Sorry. Yes, HTML preview file to stack. So now we are going to work on AWS S3. So let's go to aws.amazon.com. Okay, and I'm going to sign in. Yes, I'm going to sign in here. So I can sign in. I think I'm going to have an issue because I need to get something to be able to log in, but let's try it. I don't know if it's really required for me to sign in. I'm going to try it without it. So can I do it? Okay. So this is the layout, edit elements. Okay. So now, view, okay, admin controller. This can be used as an API. How can we do it? Because there are different ways. For example, I can make it that when I go to create a blog, an article, and I click on create, and I choose a file in here, there are different ways on which this can work. So for example, I can make it add the file to Amazon AWS, to the server in the moment, and just saving here the name of the file. Or I could just leave the file in there, and when I send the form, upload the file. So that's basically the two ways on how this could work. And let's see which one we prefer. So let's going to be thinking about that while I work on this. So we're going to upload it with the form. Okay. So get create article. First, it's going to work on here. So we have the thumbnail. It is not required, and it allows JPEG, PNG, and JPG. Okay. So and here I have the thumbnail. Where's the thumbnail? Sorry, it's the input file. Okay. So first, I think I need okay, so how can we do this? Let's see. So admin controller, we are going to have post create article, and I want to dump the thumbnail just to see what it's giving me. So I think it's input, and I'm going to input the title just to see what's going on. So for example, if I input in here my title like this, my title 2, this garbage, select an option and save, you can see that I'm getting the title. Okay, but now what happens if I do thumbnail in here? So if I go to the same thing and I save this, it's giving me no. Okay, so what now? Let's see what happens when I add a file in here. So I'm going to get a file here. So preview image. So we're going to save this just to make this thing work. So it's going to be we're going to give it the name of blog preview image, and it's a JPEG file, but it's giving me an error, I think. Let's see photos, and let's see if it opens it. Okay, yes, we have it in here. Okay, so now so now if I go to the form, and we upload this file. Close this, and I upload that file in here in desktop. Let's see what happens. So let's save it, and it's still no. Okay, so we need to work on this. So this is going to be interesting. So this is where we are going to be using Cursor. So for example, if I go in here, I'm going to say something like, so I'm going to select this, and I'm going to do something like, okay, so I added these lines from admin control file, and I'm also going to add these lines. So where's thumbnail? Well, input file in here, like this, Control Shift L. So now if I write something like, why am I getting, and this is how I really like to use the AI. It's to help me exactly where I need the help, like at the context, and tell my what I'm having an issue with, and that's how it allows me to continue developing without leaving, in this case, Cursor, and it gives me more specific information about what's the issue. I don't like it to tell it that just do it, because it starts changing things that I don't want it to change, and it starts doing it in a way that maybe it's too complicated, and it's complicated when it doesn't need to be complicated. So that's why I don't want to say that just do it for me. That's right now with how the AI is right now, but maybe in the future that's going to change. So I'm going to say, why am I getting null when uploading a file to the form? So let's see. Okay, so yes, this is a pretty basic problem. Okay, so yes, that was a pretty basic error. So instead of using input, I need to use file. So let's see. So for example, if I write in here, instead of using input, I need to use file. So if I send this, okay, so now I have the information. Okay, so now it's telling me that I used to. Okay, so now I'm going to click on here on apply. So as you can see, it only applied the changes where I was at. So now I can say accept. So if the request has a file in thumbnail, I can do something with this file. So it's telling me that I can do this. For example, but file store thumbnails public. But I don't know if that's how I want to do it. Let me open a file in here. Let's see, where's, let's see, let me see at my config files. So sometimes, let me move this here just to see it. Okay. So I just need to see where is it stored. Oh, okay. Stores. Okay. No, this is not what I wanted to. So services. Session. Okay. Store with this session. Okay. Okay. So in here, I have this configuration file that it's called file systems. So in here, I have these different places where I can save a file. So for example, I can save it in local, public folder, or I can do it in S3. So that I want to use S3, and that's what we are going to be working right now. So for example, this is already. Okay, so yes. So this is where it's telling me config file systems, which is exactly the file where I'm at. And okay, so this is going to be getting the environment variable file system disk. So I need to see if I already have that environment file in here. And just let me see if I have it. Just a moment. So let me see. Okay, yes. So right now, I mean, I cannot show you this because it's where there are some important variables, but I'm going to change the environment variable from file system disk to S3. Okay. So I changed the environment variable. Okay. So now I need to have all of these. So I can write for file systems. So I need to have all of these keys to be able to upload it to Amazon. Okay, to AWS. S3. S3 is where you save the files. So if I go here, so I'm going to make these changes. Okay, so so just a moment. I'm logging into AWS. So just a moment. I need to check something on my cell phone to be able to log in. So let me do it. Stay like 1 through 4. Okay, so now I'm here. I think I'm back. Yes, I'm back. Sorry for that. And I'm going to go in here. So now Okay, so now I need all of these access keys. Okay, so I'm going to so how can I do this? Let's create a bucket, and I'm going to show this. Maybe I shouldn't do it, but no problem. So this is where you create a bucket in AWS. So for example, you go to AWS S3, and in here I'm going to write something like this is going to be agents tower. It's telling you how it should be. This is the name that I'm going to give. And now I just want to copy. Okay, so if anyone is looking at this, I'm just configuring AWS to be able to add files from the app. Okay, so I think that's how I can create a bucket, like with this configuration. Okay, so now I need to make an IAM user. So these users are the ones that access the bucket to upload files. So okay, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to open this. And the thing with Amazon is that it's really complicated, the policies and the IAM and the what else? JSON files. Well, not files, but permissions. So yes, it's a whole world. So if you need if you need help with this, you can send me a message, and I can work on a way to add this in a way to show you exactly what to do, but without putting in risk my real and users and passwords. So sorry if I'm not showing that in screen right now, but I need to do it in here. So I'm going to do this. So okay, so next. Okay, so I think I can create a user with this. Now if I open it in here, let me see the okay, so I need to create a new permission policy. So no, so I need to create a new policy. Where can I create this policy name? And okay, so I'm going to attach. I'm going to be telling everything that I'm doing, just not showing it because of the passwords and the keys. So I'm going to attach a policy directly, and I'm going to I need to see how to make a policy. Let's see. So I'm going to look for it. Policy. Maybe I'm not going to be able to finish this today because it's taking longer than what I was expecting, like everything, not just this. So so now I'm in AWS documentation. So how can I put this? Okay, so it's telling me where to go. So let me add it in here. Okay. So this is what I'm currently looking at. So I need to go to Management Console, Comp Link, and okay. So now I need to choose policies. Yes, and then I need to create a policy. So okay. So I'm going to create a policy, and I'm going to do it as JSON. So I'm going to see this one. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it in here. Okay. So this is going to be called yes. So this is going to be called S3. Okay, it's the name of the bucket I need to add. So like this. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to add it in here, the name. So the name is going to be Agents Tower Policy, and then I think this is the create policy. Okay, so now if I go back to the permissions, I need to refresh them, and I need to search for them. So it's okay. So it's this one. Next, okay, add permissions. Okay, so I already added the permissions to that user, and I'm going to remove the previous one. Okay. So now I have this, and I think yes. So I need to create an access key. So create an access key, and this is going to be for an application running outside of AWS. So it's going to be next, and I'm going to give the name of, I can give a tag. So it's a tag. Okay, so I can copy this. Okay, and I'm going to copy this. Okay, so now I'm going to save this. So now I should be able to. So now I need to go to the S3, and I also need to add there a permission. So metadata properties, and okay, so I'm going to just have this in here. So I need to have the okay. So that .env, and I need to have this key. Okay, I think I have it. Okay, yes, access key. Okay, so I have the access key. I have the secret access key. So the region, it's so the region is US East 1. That's the main one, I think. It's the one that if it goes down, like a lot of the part of the internet goes down. So the AWS bucket, it's Agents Tower. Okay. Okay, so now I think I need to have, okay, properties. Okay, tags, default encryption. Okay. Permissions. Okay. Bucket policy. Okay, so yes, I need to have a bucket policy. And I can edit. And I have the policy in here. So this is Agents Tower. And okay, so I need to have I need to add the user. So Agents Tower. And then in here, I need to use the EM users. So I go to Agents Tower and this one. Okay. Okay. This is the user. Yes. So I need to copy. Okay. Okay. Agents. Yeah, if you need any help with this, I can just let me know, and I for sure can create a tutorial just in this without showing my my passwords and keys. So let's save the changes. So now if I go to metrics, let's see management, and I think that's all. So I think that's everything that I know. I just want to compare it with other projects that I have. So let's do. So let's see. Just a moment. So I'm comparing two of my this project with another project that I have. Okay. Well, I don't have all the information in this because it's the local version, but I think this is how it needs to be. So just a moment. So if I add this in here, okay. And I need the access key ID, the secret access key, default region, bucket, and okay. I think I need the AWS endpoint. Let's see if I can just do it with this. And let's see. So I can go to in here, and I can try and add this to my AWS bucket. So I have it in here, and okay, so just a moment. Okay. I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, I'm going to leave it for the next session for tomorrow because I I need to go. And let's try this. So let's see if this works. So let's go to the page and let's do it. My article and then article body, and then in here choose file, and if I go to this one, and let's see if it's working. Okay, so let's see if it uploaded it to Amazon, to AWS. And no, for a second I thought that it did uploaded it. I'm going to leave it in here. I need to go, but for sure I'm going to work on this. I'll try to do it later after I get some things done. If not, I'm going to do it tomorrow in a live session. So that's everything for today. Thank you very much for being here. And if you need help with anything, please let me know. Leave me a message, leave me a comment, send me a message, or just get in touch. See you later.